To anybody who identifies as a socialist, stitch this and tell me what liberal means to you. What does the word liberal mean to you? What does it mean to call somebody a liberal? Or what is liberal behavior? I've been seeing this word liberal being thrown around a lot. And I think there are times where it is justified, and there are times where it's probably not justified. But I see it used a lot like a pejorative, which it is. At least to socialists, it's a pejorative. Because you don't want to be a liberal, because liberalism ties with capitalism, and capitalism is what keeps us in chains. Now, there have been times in the past where I've called some people liberals, and then I find out after talking to them for a while that they're actually a type of socialist, and then I apologize, and then things work out, which I think is great. It's nice when stuff like that works out. But I want to get a grasp, even though we don't have very much time left on this app. It may go through, it may not. But with what little time we have, I would like us to have some kind of foundation. Specifically when we call each other liberals or call other people liberals. What does it mean? Because if we're just saying liberal is in reference to liberalism, a lot of the things that liberalism says that they want is kind of what everybody else wants. They want freedom. They want equality. They want less government oversight. They want less oppression. They want more freedom to work with each other. But times change. And instead, we need to have definitive things that mean what a liberal is. And when I use the word liberal, I'm referring to Democrats, Republicans, and everybody in between, especially you fucking libertarians. You're liberals too. All of you are liberals. And that being said, if you were born and raised in America, there's a near 100% chance that you were born and raised a liberal, whether you were a Democrat, a Republican, or some kind of libertarian. In the rare and awesome chance that you had parents that were socialists, Marxists, anarchists, revolutionary fighters, activists, educators, if you are one of those few people, then you most likely are not raised and born a liberal. But more likely, nearly 100%, we're all fucking liberals. Okay, we were all fucking liberals before we became socialists. Okay, and we need to acknowledge that, we need to admit that, and then we need to move on and work from there. I was raised a crunchy white liberal. That is a liberal that obviously is Democrat, but believes in a lot of, hippy-dippy kind of stuff. But the problem is that I almost went down an alt-right pipeline, but I was very lucky that I got socialist literature. And because we were raised and born in a liberal society and born and raised as liberals before we became socialists, we were indoctrinated with the liberal mind virus. And when we express things of the ideals of the liberals that are symptoms of this liberal mind virus, that is one of the triggers to being called a liberal by our fellow comrades. If you have any sympathy for capitalism or any belief that capitalism needs to be reformed, propagated, or regulated, but still keep capitalism, I'm going to call you a liberal. But if you're a socialist and you have these slips of the mind, you are still expressing the liberal mind virus. And when you let it slip and you don't acknowledge it, that's what I've seen people become liberals, or be called liberals. Bigotry, sexism, prejudice, all of these things that we do as microaggressions towards marginalized people, specifically from white men, because in the liberal society, white men are the ones who benefit the most. But we have to remember, because we were born and raised liberals, We have these symptoms of the liberal mind virus that need to be deconstructed, analyzed, and rectified. When a fellow comrade accuses you of being a liberal, the best thing to do is ask, what did I do wrong? What did I do that makes you feel that way? Now, if these accusations are coming from somebody who is not a socialist, fuck them. Fuck them. Who gives a fucking shit? If a fucking sock dem or a fucking Democrat or a fucking Republican or a libertarian calls you a fucking liberal, fuck them. Who gives a shit? Fuck their opinion. Now, if it's a comrade, then you need to investigate and ask why. Now, if they cannot explain why, then say, I will wait until you can come up with a response. And then you leave it at that. Don't reply. Don't make a video accusing them of being a liberal. That doesn't help. When we as comrades, as anarchists and Marxists, state socialists and libertarian socialists, when we fight, we are doing the work of our enemy. They don't need to fight us if we have the fight amongst ourselves. And this is how they win. They want us to fight amongst each other. Stop it. Just fucking stop it, okay? And if a comrade cannot give a proper explanation onto the transgression that they have observed, or they say that it is not their job to educate you, then do not react negatively. Just say, okay, or just ignore them. Okay? Don't have this back and forth. Especially don't do it for clout. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fighting amongst your comrades for clout, for likes and views? What the fuck is wrong with you? And I know there's people out there doing that shit. Stop it. Just fucking stop it, okay? I'm not going to be a reductionist and say that the only war is a class war. But there is a war between socialists and capitalists. We comrades are soldiers in the war against capitalists and capitalism. And the liberals, they are soldiers for capitalism. We should be fighting them. We should be fighting their institutions, their systems, not each other. We can critique and try to offer grievances and correction, but stop fighting about it. You can give criticism and take criticism without fighting. Think of it like it's in a workplace. If a coworker comes up to you and says that they have a grievance against you, what is the best thing to do to not get fired and try to have at least a smoother workplace? There are some comrades on here, I don't really like their opinions. And there are comrades that I don't agree with. And they're not my friends, but we're not really here to make friends. We're not here to make friends. We're here to create connection and a strong army against the oppressive class. That is why we're here. And when we make transgressions against each other, because we will, because we have the liberal mind virus, especially white, cis, hetero men, I'm fucking talking to you, me included, I've made mistakes. Cis, hetero, white men, we're the ones who are going to make the most mistakes. And when somebody has a grievance at you, ask, what did I do wrong? And if they cannot give you a proper response, then leave it alone and don't bother responding. Don't call them a liberal. Don't fight with them. Leave them the fuck alone. And maybe ask yourself, what did I do wrong? Because there probably is a shred of truth there. But if they're a fucking liberal and they're accusing you, fuck them. Don't fucking give them the time of day. Jesus Christ, man. People are just so fucking reactionary sometimes.